every Giphy.
Every Giphy. So in the state of New York right now, in the Northern District around Buffalo, there is a big trial happening right now based on the mass shooting that happened in a Tops grocery store 2 summers ago. Are you guys familiar with that story?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? The backstory is like a young teen was claimed to have been radicalized by finding, really fringe videos that were politically oriented on YouTube, Reddit, Discord, and then he decided to shoot up a grocery store and live stream it on, I believe, his Facebook or Instagram. Mm-hmm. And the families of the victims, obviously, tragic, we feel sorry for them, tried to sue Reddit and YouTube over feeding that kid these videos that, quote, radicalized him. There's a law, and it's been in place for years, that protect these companies. Because, frankly, if we're being real, companies like Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, those are non-publishing companies. They're not publishers. Mm-hmm. They don't publish the content. They're just housing what other people publish. So you can't hold Reddit liable for what someone posts if it radicalizes them, right? Reddit can take down things that are disgusting and violent and could induce violence, but there's only so many employees and they have to hire contractors and they do their best. I honestly do believe they do their best to not have terroristic stuff on there. Mm-hmm. But what's to say? Even if they take stuff that isn't terroristic off, it's still, what is to say what could radicalize someone? And so there's a law called Section 230 of a law that came out in the 90s that protect these companies from having to be liable for when someone goes rogue and violent from seeing something on their website. So these families tried to sue these companies, and the law protects them. So now a way around that is the concept of algorithms. So pre-algorithm, this law, Section 230, came out, protects these companies from being liable for what their users post on their sites. But now these sites are so big, they're feeding you an algorithm. It's not just like you find an article and you liked it and you find another one. You see a video and then you go find another video. You watch a video and YouTube says, hey, you like this video? We think you'll like this video. And if you see something that is politically minded or possibly radicalizing, YouTube will go, hey, everybody who likes this radicalizing video usually likes this video.
Oh, you like watching videos of jujitsu? Here's videos of men tickling each other. That type of thing.
Yeah, your algorithm.
Oh yeah, my videos is mostly like jujitsu videos and then men tickling. It's not porn. It's tickle giggle contests. So it's just like any other combat sport, except instead of like in jiu-jitsu, you tap out, right?
Right.
In tickling contest, if you giggle or laugh, then that's like tapping out.
That's
Why, you want to play around? Why are you asking me to explain the rules in such detail, Sam?
And so these lawyers for the families are saying the algorithm is a faulty product. It's actually the algorithm is built incorrectly, and so it's feeding people over and over and over more radicalizing content. So we can sue YouTube and we can sue Reddit, not violating Section 230, but for creating faulty algorithms. Mm-hmm. And the fact that the algorithm is a bad product. And when you make a bad product that harms someone, just like say a car company makes a car where the brakes don't work, you can sue the car company for making a car where the brakes don't work and you get hurt. So now they're saying we've been hurt by a faulty product, bad algorithms. So this judge goes, this is a new angle legally I've never heard of. I'm going to entertain this. Okay. So now in New York, these companies like Reddit and YouTube are going to get sued over deathly
I want to make an argument here. Without a doubt, the algorithm is working. If you're the type of guy that can be radicalized by right-wing content and you're watching something that's on the peripherals of right-wing content and then someone recommends right-wing content to you, that's the algorithm working. That's the algorithm doing what it's designed to do. Like, if I'm watching my jiu-jitsu videos and then I'm pretty quickly in a hole of guys that are buff and strong tickling each other, that's the algorithm working. It's not faulty. Yeah, and I mean, I think anyone can be radicalized, right? Anyone can be radicalized. Anyone can be radicalized, and I'm speaking of someone I was absolutely radicalized before in my life. It's not a fucking crazy thing to be radicalized. Conditions in life lead a lot of people, dumb, smart people, right? To be radicalized.
I don't entertain this pure person who can never be radicalized in any ideology.
Sure.
There is no perfect mind.
Not at all. Not at all. We're all human. Anyone can fall under the same fucking types of traps and like, logical fallacies or whatever that anyone else that got radicalized could fall under. But at the same time, if I'm watching videos of Ben Shapiro dunking on social justice warriors, the algorithm's working if it shows me a Jordan Peterson video talking about, keeping the family traditional. That's the algorithm working. Those are related ideas. So I don't know. I think at its core, that argument's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if you're showing me stuff on the peripheral of my interests, that is the algorithm. I'm anti-algorithm for sure. I think we need to turn off the algorithm entirely, right? Do you remember when Instagram first came out and you just saw things in order of them being posted?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that was better or worse, but I'm saying that's like a better version of the internet from my perspective, because I don't want to be fed things by an algorithm. I'd rather just see things in order of the people I'm following, the things I actually want to see. So I'm anti-algorithm for sure, but not this bullshit it doesn't work. It definitely works. The algorithm is doing exactly what it's designed to do on all of these social apps. All of the content I see on any of them are clearly designed for me. That's the reason I'm on those websites.
So if you were the judge in this case, you would say, I'm not hearing this case, I'm throwing this out.
If I was the judge on this case, I'd be just watching TikTok the entire time, going, like that, watching, just scrolling.
Those nails are good looking.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it, I think the argument is what these companies say their mission statement is and the goal of their algorithms. Because if you look at the mission statement, they're not just saying like, oh, the only goal of the company is to just steal your time, right? They're like, oh, we're going to looking to enrich and engage an audience.
Just dishonest.
Yeah,
That's
but
the most dishonest part.
That's where you get them in there. The fact that they won't be honest about it, that's why they'll lose.
So are tech companies really not saying we designed the algorithm to keep you engaged and feed you the type of entertainment that you want to be engaged with?
I feel like they can't. They're going to say too much of that other bullshit where it's like, oh, we're looking to engage, enrich and engage an audience by helping people proliferate ideas and blah, blah, blah.
Man, I think like also all of these, the reason that these tech companies are allowed to entirely skirt antitrust laws is because they're all just fucking federal. They're all tied directly to the State Department. I think Reddit's a fantastic example of that. When we famously checked to see where all the cities that were engaged with Reddit are in the early 2000s, they all came up with fucking Air Force bases. And it's like, okay, so like Reddit's a giant bot farm for the U.S. Army, right? When Homegirl took over, Ellen Powell, whatever her name is, actually took over Reddit, she was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell being at early Reddit parties, and to defend herself, she said, oh, and everyone knew what Ghislaine Maxwell was doing, so we hated that she was there. And it's like, wait, you allowed a known pedophile and human trafficker to be involved in early Reddit? That was something that you were aware of, and it's just something that you stick up your nose at, being like, oh, I hate that I'm breaking bed with the notorious fucking pedophile right now. Like all of these things.
But that's work, and my boss texts me after hours. Can you believe it? My boss texts me at 9 o'clock at night. Hey, I need a car without license plates. What?
I bring 9-year-olds between 9 to 5, and that's it. Okay, I draw a line.
My boss is Diddy, and he's texting me at 9:30 at night, telling me, "Hey, I need you to come by the studio."
Yeah, for real. The reason that these fucking tech companies are not only allowed to skirt these antitrust laws, but are allowed to openly fucking organize with pedophiles is because they're State Department shit. There's no way that we're allowing tech companies to get so massive, to have so much data, and without the NSA and the CIA having direct backdoors into their software and being able to work directly with these people. Like, that's the only reason that we don't have a bunch of smaller software companies competing in this market share, is because they're allowed to skirt antitrust laws in a lot of creative ways.
Here we go. This is a quote. The shooter, who was white and was 18 at the time of the attack, did not begin his YouTube experience by watching hateful and violent videos, the judge argues. The prosecutor. The lawsuit also claims from the prosecutor, but rather was steered to them, so he did not begin his YouTube experience by watching hateful and violent videos. He was rather steered to them by YouTube's algorithm and autoplay functions. And on Reddit, the site's algorithm helped him find online communities that provided him with the know-how and extremist encouragement he needed to commit the attack at the grocery store, the complaint states. That's the thing, is they're saying that these companies are at fault. And I mourn the deaths of these people, and I mourn the loss of the living family members, surviving members. But I don't, and I'm not, this is a rare scenario. Look, I'm not a standing ever with a company like YouTube or Reddit, but it's not their fault.
If I walk into Book People and I'm looking for a book on political history, and in that same section, I get to read On Guerrilla Warfare by Mao Zedong, and in that same section, I see Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler, are the ideas that I then find in those books going to be, stuck upon Book People for allowing those books in their store?
Is Barnes and Noble on the hook for me buying all these books that change the way I look and maybe act radically?
I mean, it's funny because Alex Jones famously is InfoWars, right? Information wars. And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't want to live in a world of information wars to where if I desire to read, an IRA pamphlet on how they made pipe bombs, I'm some sort of sicko. Or if I want to fucking actually read Hitler's Mein Kampf. Have you guys read Mein Kampf?
I have not.
I haven't either. It'd be funny if both of you guys said yes, though. That's what I was wondering. I've met people that have read it. I've met people that have read Mein Kampf because they were curious. Doesn't make them bad people, but I'm like, interesting. Okay, it's weird that you read Mein Kampf.
Dude, a couple months ago, I was doing the open mic at Mothership, and Jeffrey Eggleston?
Yeah.
He plays the guitar. He released an album, and I bought it to support him, but it's the only album on my iTunes. So sometimes it'll just play if I have an Apple Watch or on my phone. And I was about to go on stage, and Miles Johnson looked at me, and my watch said I was halfway through the song Mein Kampf. So he just thought I was listening to the audiobook of Mein Kampf. And my watch was paused. Oh, I gotta do a spot. Hold on real quick. And it was very embarrassing.
Mein Kampf,
so funny.
read by Franz Dresser.
Because his song is called Mein Kampf, and I'm like, really, Jeffrey?
Jesus Christ, that's so funny. That's so funny.
I've never read Mein Kampf, so I'm not going to tell you if it's good or bad. I can't imagine it's very good, right? I imagine it emboldened some people, but Hitler doesn't seem like a genius guy. But I think you should be your right to read it. And it's insane to me that we want to attack companies that are allowing information out there, whether I agree with the information or not. I actually listened to this on Rising the other day where they were talking about how we used to live. The reason that we have the president has a bully pen is so that he can challenge narratives that are in the media, and that a part of our First Amendment right is to say things that are against state narrative or against mainstream narrative, right? And we shouldn't be policing people or taking down information because we say, hey, that's bad. You should just go and fucking say, hey, I think this information's wrong and here's why. Yeah. Right? Isn't that a better approach?
Yeah. I think about... Yeah, I mean, with stories like this, it's one of these things where when you have these teen shooters, we're now trying to find out what's causing them to be this way. And when you do that, you want to find who's culpable, who's responsible. That's what a lawyer's job is. A person's mind looks at a tragedy and goes, how did this happen? Mm-hmm. How do we prevent this? And a lawyer's mind goes, who can I get money from because this happened? That's what this is what this reads to me, is like, okay, I'm not interested in how this young man was radicalized. What I'm saying is I found a new way to possibly get money from these companies.
The other thing is these did exist in apparatuses that are, tech, right? These did exist in things like Signal and Reddit and 2chan and 4chan and 8chan. These existed in forums that feds are aware of. Feds are in these forums. Every single time we have one of these shooters, it's always shown that they interacted with a federal agent online. And I'm not saying those federal agents even encourage them to do it, while there's definitely some proof that there have been federal agents egging people on to do these types of actions in the past. All I'm saying is that when you say, how do we prevent this? We already know how to prevent this. We've known it's going to happen every fucking time. Every single time we have one of these school shootings or these public shootings or these terrorist attacks where someone takes a whole bunch of guns with a bunch of racist memes written on the side, we always know afterwards, wow, federal agents in a chat room talked to this guy in the past couple of years. And I don't know, man. Maybe I don't want to live in a state where if I say something crazy online, feds knock on my door and check me for guns. But maybe if I'm going online saying, hey, I'm going to fucking shoot people and kill people, and that's what I think about, and the feds see it, if they're going to do fucking anything, maybe they should do something about that. Maybe that's fucking something they should worry about. Because
agree.
every fucking time, these guys, oh yeah, they were known to the FBI. Oh yeah, the FBI was aware of this person. Okay, why is the FBI knocking on people's doors about tweets that they did about fucking Ted Cruz then and not capturing the guys that are killing black people at grocery stores? This is insane. What do feds do all day? Just go on 4chan and make racist memes? They're not hunting anybody bad, man. It's wild. It's wild.
It's one of those things where you really nailed it with like the Barnes and Noble or book people argument. You can't sue a bookstore for someone getting radicalized by the books in it. So why? And a bookstore actually curates what books are on the shelves. Reddit and YouTube try their best, but they don't actually decide each video that gets put on. They find a video that violates their policies and then takes it down. The Barnes and Nobles actually orders the copies of Mein Kampf from the publisher. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And you look at like, so if you can say fine, YouTube and Reddit aren't comparable to a bookstore as far as like a place where you can go consume information from that's selling it to you, right? But then another argument would be like MSNBC, which is a very left-leaning news source, or Fox News, which is a very right-leaning news source. No one's ever tried to hold Fox News or MSNBC accountable because someone went out and was radicalized by their polarizing cable news channels and then acted violently. No one's ever tried to sue those. Why? Because the bookstore and the cable channels are legacy media. These new websites are a different form of media that maybe the powers that be don't have control over completely. And that's why they're challenged and threatened by these news sources. And they go, fuck it. If I can't necessarily control this news source of information yet, I'll cripple it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we live in a not just a country, but a world where those in power consistently want to control the narrative to the nth degree.
Of course.
And like, I know that sounds more conspiracy than real, but I feel like most people are at this point in time are pretty on board with the fact that our news is entirely bought out. And even some of the best news, like when The Intercept fired all their reporters recently. I almost cried, man. I was so bummed because those reporters had done such good work, you know, dismantling different mainstream narratives that people were so bought in at. And then what happens is they get a little in investment money and all those fucking reporters get weeded out. You know, what happened at New York Times when all the reporters that said, hey man, there are no weapons of mass destruction. That's bullshit. That's State Department propaganda. They said, okay, buddy, get a new job, losers. Get a new fucking job, losers. Like when people say like, oh, I can't believe Americans watch, you know, OAN news. It's a fake news source. Dude, it's all fake news source. Everything is fake news now.
Correct.
Now it's just picking your favorite characters and joining along for the ride, man. Like there's no good pure heart news source. And when good news does come out, when you have stuff like the, you know, The Intercept or fucking what was that really good one for a while? Gray Zone was good initially. They go rotten pretty fucking quickly, or they lose funding, or they lose money, or they get fucking bought out by sickos. Like
I have to disagree.
You think Gray Zone is pure heart still?
No. But there is. You said there's no pure of heart news source, and there is one. It's called the Bad News
Bad
Podcast.
News Podcast. The only news you can trust. We're the only news not bought by pedophiles. Yet. We are open to
Never.
it. Never. Not the
No,
pedophiles. Now the
never.
Chinese. We will work for you.